Well, hey, everybody. My name is Willie Lawson of the Saxophone Factory. I trust that you are well today. Listen, I wanted to, and this is, I don't know if I told you, 2025 marks my 40th year of private teaching. Wow. When you come to the realization sometimes that you've been doing something a certain amount of time, it's sort of startling sometimes. When you say, I've been doing this, golly, 66% of my life. Wow. More. I mean, it's crazy. But but what I wanted to do is I've been thinking about, and I am blessed. I still have a studio full of students, and I love all my students, and everybody's at different levels. And I've got adults, and I've got little kids. I mean, well, little kids for me is like 9. I don't have any 5-year-olds. No, that'll be in another video. But I'll often have to explain to people who are considering private lessons or considering studying saxophone or studying any instrument really, what they can expect from private lessons. I read these forums, and some of the things that people expect, I'll just go or say they're going to be able to deliver. Like, well, I've been doing this a long time. I've never been able to deliver that, but or guarantee that. How about that? Because I have students who become students who become all sorts of things. They become regular school teachers, and they become attorneys. They become jet pilots. They become they work for NASA. They become professional musicians. They become chorus teachers. Anyway, so they go to everything that's out there. But I wanted to spend some time saying, what you should expect if you choose to take private lessons. I did a video about what teachers should do, or what you should do when you're taking private lessons. But before you make that decision, the things that you should expect. The main thing that you should expect is to get better. To get better. Now, how do you get better? You get better through the information, hopefully, that the teacher has. And I know some people get all weird when the teacher wants to talk, but most of the time, the teacher has something important to say to you. The teacher didn't come to hear you practice. I mean, you're not paying the teacher to hear you play. I know that seems counterintuitive, but you didn't come. I mean, they're not sitting there to hear you play. First of all, they have something to tell you. When we introduce a concept, we have to use the words that are coming out of our mouths. So you should listen. So you should be glad that someone has decided to trade their knowledge for money. Yes. Now, through that information, then there should be demonstration of that concept. And it should be it should be teacher demonstration for the most part. Now that's tough when the teacher is teaching concepts and you play bassoon, and the teacher doesn't necessarily have a bassoon because they don't play bassoon, but they know how bassoon works, or trumpet or trombone. When you have a teacher who's a woodwind player who had a trumpet student or a trombone student, I know how trombone works. And I know how trumpet works. Now, I may not be able to grab my trumpet and demonstrate how to pop out a double high G, but I don't have to because I know how it works. In any case. So there'll be demonstration by the teacher of the concept. You should expect that. And especially if you're a saxophone student taking lessons from a saxophone teacher, or a clarinet student taking saxophone from a clarinet teacher. You should expect that there should be information given to you, and there should be demonstration of that concept by the teacher. You should expect feedback. And feedback comes in the way of, I ask you if you understand the concept. I often use this method where I say, Tell me, for instance, tell me what a dot does to a note. And I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me like I'm five. Because if you can tell me using your words, if you can explain that concept to me, then I'm pretty confident that you understand it, and then you'll be able to use it. That's just an example. Um, I ask questions like, "So where's your tongue supposed to be when you're tonguing a note? Tell me. Don't do it. I don't want to see you do it. I don't hear you do it. I want you to tell me. Because if you can tell me, you can use your words and explain it to me. I have a really good sense that you understand it. So that's the kind of feedback. And through student demonstration. If you've practiced it, first of all, if you understand it and you've practiced it, you can demonstrate it to me. Yeah. All right. Here's the last one. You should expect encouragement. I often tell my young students, I'm your second biggest fan outside your parents. I'm your second biggest fan. I want you to succeed like nothing else. I want you to be good at this. I want you to enjoy this like nothing else. And in that, you should expect that realistic goals be talked about. We should talk about realistic goals. Now, when I say realistic goals, what does that mean? So often I have adults, beginner adults, who come in and go, yeah, man, I really like jazz. I want to do this. Let's go, okay, cool. And they can't put a reed on a mouthpiece yet. I love their enthusiasm. I am stoked about their enthusiasm. But the first goal, the one that you can actually accomplish, is putting a reed on a mouthpiece. Let's see if you can get that reed. So you can get that reed on there. There you go. Because all of your favorite saxophone players, I don't care who it is, Charlie Parker, Kenny G, everybody in between, can put their own reed on their mouthpiece. They can't. They can't. I've seen them do it. They can do it, right? So let's start off with realistic goals. Let's start off with learning the fingerings of your instrument. Let's start off with having a decent embouchure. Now you're thinking, golly, this is going to take forever. It took your heroes a long time to get to where they were, so they're your heroes. It took Charlie Parker a long time. It took John Coltrane a long time. It took Kenny G a long time. It took, a long time. So I've got to, especially this is more difficult with adults. I've got to set realistic goals. Now I want you to be good. I want you to be able to do the things that you think you want to do. But I also, in setting these goals, and they're realistic, then you will understand where you are based on a couple of things, based on how old you are. If you're 60 and retired, you have a little bit more time to invest in your own playing. You might, I should say, I say you should, but you might, because it's not time spent, it's time invested. And the more time you invest, the better you'll be. And the better you are, the different the different your goals, your end goals can be. Okay. If you're 32 or 40 and you've got two kids in high school and a wife and a job that you have to work 45 hours a week, you've got less time to invest. Let's just be, and I tell them, let's just be realistic about that. You have less time to invest, because that's what you have to do. You have to invest time, and you have less time to invest. So your goals are going to be different. Your goals are going to have to be different. Your goal may be, I just like doing this because the better I get, it's relaxing. I'd rather do this than watch Housewives of Minneapolis. I'd rather do this than play golf. You know, a saxophone is expensive, but it's not as expensive as buying an airplane. You know, uh, or learning to fly. And the third one, and this is the hardest one because when I see these videos on YouTube, nobody ever mentions this. Your ability. When the teachers are encouraging you, they have to think about your ability. I've never heard a YouTube saxophone or music person say this. You may not be very good. You might not be. Now, I don't think that that's terrible, and I don't think that's why somebody ought to stop. I don't. But I'm encouraging when a teacher is encouraging somebody, the teacher is considering the age of that person, whether they're a child or an adult, the time they have to invest, and their ability. Not everybody can do this. If everybody can do this, they would, because it's more fun. Well, it's more fun than I can tell you. We never talk about the student's ability. We always try to approach this like everybody has got unlimited ability, and they don't. They don't. I'm not going to be Charlie Parker or John Coltrane. I'm not. I was never headed that direction. My direction was headed here with you on this to talk about this like an adult. So, based on your ability, not just your practice, not just your time invested, not just your age. Now, because there are children that don't have much ability. I know, terrible. We're supposed to go, I believe the children are our future. I know. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Like they all have unlimited capability, unlimited potential when they don't. Before I let this go, I want to talk about how I think about it. There are people who have sort of an aptitude for it, and they take that aptitude and they do really good things sometimes. And there are some people who have talent, uh, sort of this uncanny ability. And then there are people who have a gift. That's the smallest group. They just seem to be able to do it. They just seem to be able to do it in almost a savant way. Most people aren't, almost nobody, I'll say it this way, no, almost no one is a savant. And very few people have talent. A lot of players have an aptitude and they work hard because they like it. It's fun because it's just awful lot of fun. And they work hard and they're able to do great things. And then if you don't have the aptitude for it, you're probably not going to ever be very good. But it doesn't mean you can't have fun. That's the thing. It doesn't mean you can't have fun. It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it. And I want everybody to enjoy it. I want everybody to enjoy it from a realistic standpoint. And that way, if you get realistic goals, then you're not frustrated. You don't end up hating it. And you don't end up thinking that your teacher is terrible because in 6 months you're not gigging. Some of these videos come out and they pretend like if you do these easy steps, then you'll be gigging and you can leave your 9 to 5. Don't leave your 9 to 5. No, it doesn't work like that. I have been doing this 40 years. I told you that at the beginning, because I have always set realistic goals for my students based on reality, based on their reality. Based on their reality. And I think when you go to a teacher, you have to be honest about everything. And the teacher has to be honest about everything. If you go in and you're 45 and you told a teacher that, again, you've got two kids in high school about to go to college and a wife and a job that demands 50 hours a week, and they make this allusion to you being able to quit your 9 to 5 and go on the road with a touring band, run, run. They are lying to you. They are blowing smoke up your butt, and all they're going to be doing is taking your money and keeping you frustrated. They don't have a magic wand to make you John Coltrane. They don't, because none of us do. In any case, I hope you got something out of that little video. Don't mean to discourage you. As a matter of fact, I mean to encourage you. I mean to encourage you. I want you to find these videos are great. Thank you. Your feedback has been awesome. They have inflated the size of my head. I am, oh, look at me, teacher on the internet. But the idea now is I'd rather you find a teacher that you can sit next to so they could go, no, pull your chin down like this, touch your face and pull your chin down. Oh, yeah, get your fingers wrapped around a little better. That'll be better for you. Find a good teacher. Well, anyway, I got to get out of here. So until we see you again, please keep practicing.